Hello and welcome to another how-to video. Today we're going to be installing the onboard connect for the Little Robot 3 Open Air. This one's the 2020 version. The newer ones you don't have to install all these other complicated parts. It's very straightforward. There's about one or two parts that you got to install, and depending on the version that you've got, you may need a new power supply as well. But it all comes down to how long ago you've had your little robot for. Without further ado, let's get stuck into it and see how easy it is. Okay, the first thing we want to do is empty the drawer. Once you've done that, you want to put a new bag in it. Roll it down like a pair of socks, big pair of socks type of thing. Like so. And then basically we throw all of that back in. Alright, this is about a week old, so I'm just going to dump this and throw it out. So basically we'll hit the empty button and we'll empty it all out into the drawer. First thing we want to do is remove the bonnet by using the two clips. By tilting back a little bit and up, it should just come off quite easily. Just put that aside. Next, you just want to lift up the globe. It should just come up quite easily. And once you've done that, you can remove the drawer. Again, put that aside. Alright, what I'd like to do now is basically, while we've got it apart, is just give it a clean. Just a quick clean with the vacuum cleaner. That's what I like to use because it's nice and easy, a bit noisy, but it's easy. And just suck up all the loose litter. As you can see, that's come up around here and here. And later on we'll clean the sensors as well. We might, while we've got it apart. Alright, now that's all done. When you are in there, I'll just give you a small tip. When you're actually in there with the vacuum cleaner, you want to be careful with the sensors, what are just under here. These read when basically the drawer is full and you need to empty it. Just give them a wipe down with a nice soft rag and and you should be right. Find where the globe runs, which is this track here. You'll find it's got some kind of lubricant on it. Don't wipe that off. For the next step, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, and there's going to be 5 screws that you're going to have to undo to get this front control panel off. They're just here, I'll point them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll unscrew them now. There we go. Yeah, it's coming out slowly. It feels like there's something holding it. Sounds like tape. Yep. Looks like we might have to pop the main board out first. There we go, yep. So obviously when you first grab them and you first pull them apart for the very first time, they've obviously put tape down just to secure it through like transport, I suppose, which makes it a little difficult to get the cover off because this has little notches. The actual control board has little notches that actually fit in here. And as you can see, you've got one here and one here. So, and they got little notches that actually go into that. So you got to actually push them out. Normally the control board stays in it when this comes off, but yeah, first time they obviously tape it up. Okay, now what we want to do is take off the board, remove the sticky tape and take off the covering. You can throw the sticky out, you're not going to need it anymore. take off this one as well. Comes off fairly easy. Alright, now it makes it a bit easier for us because now we've got a bit more play to get the board out, as we can see. Like I say, I want to take this off. Just be gentle with it. Again, it sits in little dots, like in the little holes. As you can see there, I'm not too sure if you can see that, how well it's picking that up. But you got one here, and one here. So 1, 2, 3, and they basically sit in those 3 holes here. So, and it will be the same with the new one as well. So we'll continue unplugging the wires. So we'll just turn that around. It's just a matter of just gently pulling them out. There's 1. 2 and 3. Now, one thing I will say, you don't have to worry about mixing them up because they'll only plug in one way and in only one socket. So basically, as you can see, you've got a 4-pin, 6-pin and an 8-pin. Basically, and you've got 4-pin plug there, and your 6-pin and your 8-pin. And like I say, they'll only go in one way. You can't put them in backwards or anything like that. So it's pretty safe that way, which makes it really simple and easy. It's one thing I like about how they've designed this. They've designed it in the old style, what they used to call KISS, keep it simple, stupid, and I love it. It makes it so easy to work on it and repair it and stuff like that. And doing this, changing the board to a Wi-Fi board, does not void your warranty, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so you can do it with confidence and knowing that your machine will work at the end of the day. Okay, this is what you get with the onboard connect kit from Cat Evolution. You get a new power supply, you get the new main board, you get a new decal, 4 screws, and you get a new serial number. Any unit that's been manufactured from 2020 onwards, all you guys will have to do is just install the main board and that's it. And yeah, that's all you'll need. Your power supply that comes with it will be sufficient enough to run everything. But any models that was made before 2020, you'll need to use the new power supply that comes with it. So just keep that in mind. So, and you can easily check that just by turning it around, and you can see at the back of the unit that when it was actually manufactured, what year, date, and all that. You want to throw this on it now, just to make it that little bit easier to handle and whatnot, because this can be a little tricky to get on nicely. But once that's on, then we can start plugging up the wires and putting it all back together. So basically it goes on that way, this side in, like so. And just fold the little flaps around so it hugs it nice. Make sure the holes, the little notches go in the holes. As you can see there, as I'm pushing in, I don't know if you guys can see that. I might have to go to this one. It's not very good lighting. There you go. That little notch there. You've got to push the little plastic bit in, or the rubber bit. There's another one there. Just here. Push all that in. Once all that's all nice and in, then basically you just make sure the lips all nicely around. And looks like we are done. And then what we want to do is basically we want to plug the wires up. Again, you can't mix this up. You got a 4, 6 and 8, and you got a 4, 6 and 8 plug here. So it's pretty hard to mix up. Just plug them back into the same plugs what you need to. And like I said, they'll only go in one way. There's one. You can take a bit more wire out if you like to, just to make it that little bit easier on yourself. But I'm just trying to avoid all of that. But like I say, it does make things a bit more tight. But you can get it. Just got to be patient. Alright, there we go. She's all plugged in. So if you guys couldn't see that, just fix this up again. There we go, we're all good. And now as you can see, all the wires are now connected, 1, 2, 3. They're all plugged in, all nice and firm. Everything's all good. And now we can start to put this back. The wires just feed through here. Make sure, one thing I can't stress enough, make sure that the wires are in the little cavities where they are supposed to run to, because you do not want to get this caught up with the wires or whatnot, because then you'll have all sorts of problems and you probably get yourself in a situation where you can't fix it. Well, straight away without getting a replacement part or something like that, and that's just the last thing you want to do. So yeah, just make sure that all that is down in there. And yeah, so now we'll go and get the main cover, which is this here. We still got the old decal on, but we'll worry about that later. And yeah, so first thing what you want to do, like I was showing you all before, I don't know if you guys can see that. There we go. Just here, you've got these two notches here, 1 and 2. Basically, you'll find you've got 2 notches on this, 1 and 2, and they basically, all you do is just line them up with these, with those, and yeah, and it should all just sit in there quite nicely. That's the plan anyway. So let's see how we're going to do this. Alrighty. Get this in like so. There we go. There we go. Nice. Looks like that's just popped in quite nicely. Yep, there we go. It's that easy. That went in real easy, as you guys probably saw. Nice and snug now. That's not going anywhere. Yeah, wire's all good. It's still in their cavities. Just want to make sure as you put that down, you want to be 110% to make sure that that motor and your gear is free. And now in theory, this should just nicely clip back in. There we go. Yep, and that's all nice. Okay, now we've done that, what we want to do is replace the screws, which were here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to do them up tight. Well, not super tight anyway, it's just reasonable. Alright, next step, we want to put the globe back on. Let's put it, should drop straight back in. Make sure it's in its home position. There we go. And then you want to grab your drawer. When you go to put the bonnet on, just make sure, just be careful of these clips here. You've got 2 metal clips which basically feeds power to your LED light. On the left side, as you can see this here, I find the easiest thing to do is line up the back tabs. 1 and 2, and just then just bring it down. Just make sure the 2 clips slide in and click in, and that's it. Make sure your key is is in the locked position, which is, should be straight down, so it should be pointing towards 6 o'clock. And yeah, which that is in. It's nice and locked in, that's not going anywhere. And yeah, basically once all of that's done, you should be good to go. Alright, next thing we want to do is replace the decal on the front. So that's this piece here. Basically all the blue, we want to replace it with the new one, which is this one here, what's got the Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff on it. So yeah, they recommend use a Stanley knife, which I recommend that too, but unfortunately I don't have a Stanley knife, so I'm going to go the old bodgy way and use a knife. So hopefully this will work and it will get it off nicely. They're not very hard to take off. Yeah, as you can see, this one's already coming off nice and easy. Just gently peel it off. Comes off fairly easy. There you go, bang, just like that. And just put it aside. And then we get the new one. And basically we just got to take the the paper off. Okay, now to do this, I don't really know the best way to do this. I'm just going to pretty much just line up the bottom here, and hopefully it'll just all nicely line up and sit nice. I'm going to line up these little rigids from the buttons. I'm going to line them up and hopefully, yeah, it'll all just sit nicely before I press it on. Yeah, so let's try. It's looking good. Looking good. Beautiful. There we go. Now I'm one of those people that where if I'm going to put it on wrong, or if it's going to come on back, or you know, go on crooked or anything like that, I'm your man. But this went on really easy. As you can see, it's nice and straight. There's no air bubbles. There's nothing. There's a few air bubbles, but we're just getting rid of all of them now. They just easily pop out. And that's it. Job is now done. It's got a new look, which I think looks pretty good. What we've got to do now is just plug her up, get some power to it, turn her on. She should do an initial cycle and hopefully everything goes good. Okay, we've connected it to the mains, so it has power. What we've got to do now is just turn it on and let it initiate its cycle. I think now, because I've changed the new board and all that, I think it's all gone back to default settings, so I've got to change my time, like the wait timer and all that again. So just keep that in mind as well. Any settings that you had, you're going to have to redo all of them again.